Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Apex Racing TV and the iRacing Israel League channel. And welcome to round 6 of the iRacing Israel League. We come to the Ardennes Forest in Belgium, to the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. The Grand Prix layout's just under 7 kilometres in length, where we're getting set for another instalment in the Porsche 911 GT3 Cup cars. And those that may have watched the Porsche Esports Super Cup race at the weekend will have got to know this place quite well. And we're going to do that again today. And alongside me in the commentary box, filling in for Dame Bear today, I'm sure do just as good a job, is Peter Mackay. And Peter, welcome. Spa, well, it's a track that I think pretty much every driver loves to race on, and I think these guys in the iRacing Israel League will love it just as much in the race that we've got coming up today.
Absolutely. It's an absolute pleasure to be here filling Dane Baird's enormous shoes. I hope I will try my best to fill in for young Mr. Baird and do my best. Yes, this circuit, Spa-Francorchamps, for many drivers, it is as good as it gets. A wonderful flowing layout following the topography of the land, and of course a very historic circuit as well, with a long heritage, and one that is particularly special for sports car racing, in my opinion. And as you said, we had the Tag Heuer Porsche Esports Super Cup race. If you really want to feel depressed about how slow you are on iRacing compared to professionals, I certainly felt that way watching it. And then, of course, we had the real world equivalent, the Mobil 1 Super Cup at Spa at the weekend. So lots of inspiration for our drivers today from the weekend just past.
Yeah, it's all about the PESC, isn't it? I think we were big at work. We were bigging that up more than the actual real life Porsche Mobil 1 Super Cup that was taking place in real life that weekend. Qualifying session, which is an open qualifying session for this week, is just finishing. I will run you through the grid shortly. But here are the championship standings. It is Shalva Kvitelashvili who leads the way, 194 points, 40 ahead of Oren Sade in second. And then it's Madi Bakar in third, just 10 behind. And then it's Amir Meshalem, Dekon Narb, Ori Lahav, Haggai Farron, Michael Scherling, just 4 points behind there in eighth. Alon Zeltzer in ninth, and Ariel DeBush in 10th place, joint 10th place, in fact, with Ron Cohen there in 11th. So Shalva has really got things under control at the front. And of course, he should be, as the setups for this series are built by him. And so they get distributed out to all the drivers. And, well, I guess there can't be many better, really, Peter, because if you're going to have anybody's setups in the series, you may as well have it based off the one that's being used by the championship leader.
Absolutely, yeah. That's one way to say. Well, you can. There's my setup. See if you can beat me with it, sort of thing. So yeah, that's very cool because these particular cars, these 911 GT3 Cup machines, a fickle machine. They're rear-engined, and they require quite a lot of work on setup, particularly on a layout like Spa. And to have a good pro level setup makes all the difference. Because when the car is not set up correctly, it is just horrible. In fact, I was speaking to a driver who's both raced the real thing and also in the simulator, and she said that actually in the sim it's actually a much more difficult car to drive, so getting it set up is a critical part. So like you say, that's one excuse the drivers won't unfortunately be able to use today with that setup.
A little bit of housekeeping as well, just to tidy up from the last time out at Brands Hatch, where I think we were all on the edge of our seats as many drivers scrambled for the pits to get a last little drop of fuel to get over the line. The race stewards, after all of that took place, they decided to issue a red flag, post-race red flag, at the end of lap 22. So basically, they counted the race back a couple of laps, and that meant that it finished with Dorian Tabachnik winning, Shalva Kvitelashvili in second, and Michael Scherling in third place. So that's how the race results finished last time out at Brands Hatch, and I'm sure the championship standings will have been distributed accordingly after that. Here is the starting grid then for today. The qualifying session was moved a little bit earlier in the day, so that's why we haven't been able to cover most of it. Shalva on the pole, Reen Gross in second place. Now, these two had a very good race a couple of weeks back at Road Atlanta, a place you know well from this series, Peter. Amir Meshalem in third. Then it's Dorian Tabachnik in fourth, John Chico in fifth, Rumen Chachashvili in sixth. Then it's Oren Sade seventh. Has Haggai Farron, he's in eighth. Then it's Michael Simon in ninth, and Ron Cohen completing the top 10. 11th for Madi Bakar, Yossi Gabai in 12th place. Let's see if we can get the rest of the grid on the screen for you. 13th star Deckel, then Ori Lahav. 15th for Near Cop, Gil Epstein in 16th. Ran Sioni, Alon Zeltzer, Toma Ventura, Aiden Scher, then Eric Alster, David Diag, Michael Scherling down there in 23rd place. Not the best qualifying for him. Dormalka, Rielitsia, Leon Portman, and set to start at the back in a 27-car field. These entries for this series seem to keep going up week on week. Is Moshi Pinchevsky, 6.7 seconds behind the pole time. So a healthy grid, Peter, and we can just about make it out there in the shot at the moment. So looking set for a good race coming up. And let's see what these guys can do. But Shalva, that qualifying time looked pretty ominous, and I think it's going to be tough for him to beat as the last few cars get into position now.
Certainly will, but watch out for turn one, the last source. Even at the very highest level in motorsport and Formula One, it's always a hot spot for action, and that's one corner to really look out for, particularly on this first passing for sure.
Reminder that the race will be 12 laps or 35 minutes, whatever comes first. But for now, we're looking at the lights, and they're coming on now. The lights are out and we're underway. Good start from Shalva, but will he be able to hold on to the lead into La Source? This is the danger point. This is what we were worrying about. So let's hope they can all get through it all safely. Oh, I think he just got a little tap there from Reem Gross, but he's been able to keep the car pointing in a straight line. And away he goes down the hill towards Eau Rouge and Radion. And Reem Gross, I don't think he's got his sights set on staying in second place for long. I think he wants the lead. Let's see if he can get it as we go up the hill. A lot of curb taken on the inside there from Shalva. I think everybody got through the source remarkably without too much contact. And now it's the long drive up the Kemmel Straight towards Lake Common. Who's that in third place? That's Dorian Tabachnik. He's already trying to make some moves. We thought it would have been Reem Gross trying to take the lead away from Shalva. Instead, it's going to be Dorian Tabachnik going right round the outside of Lake Common. We saw many drivers try and do that move in the F1 weekend, but not make it work. But Dorian Tabachnik has just done that, Peter. And the black and red and silver Porsche is up into second place and has been a spin at the back, and that's Ruben Chachas-Vili.
Oh, just a little mistake there. These cars so difficult on cold tyres and with full fuel tanks. And I tell you what, most of the field getting through there really cleanly indeed. You see someone running off at the back there, but to get through La Source clean. Oh dear, commentators cursing. Hage Ferran having a spin around there in the 31 machine. Yeah, getting through La Source is tricky, but that particularly at Eau Rouge and Radion on cold tyres in these cars, it can be really tricky to keep the car under control. But good job by the leaders. And Shalva, well, he's opened up over a second gap already, and he's breaking away. But Tabachnik, he's not gonna take it lying down, that's for sure. Oh, another off.
Yeah, that's Muddy Bakar that's off, and that's at the Fania chicane. And it's not too far away from Giovinazzi had his incident. He's spun it trying to get back on the circuit. Yeah. It looks like instead of cold tyres there, Pierre, that might have been too much temperature in the tyres, and that resulted in very little grip. And that's Ori Lahav with the front end severely bent in on his Porsche 911 GT3 Cup car. Let's see if we can have a look back and see what on earth happened to poor Ori Lahav there, desperately trying to scroll back through the replays to see what happened. I think that might be a bit late. Here we go. This is what happened. This is a replay. Oh, he just had nowhere to go, did he? So the spin happened from car 277 there of Madi Bakar, and Ori Lahav just had nowhere to go. And cold brakes, I bet, didn't help in that situation, because you're trying to slow the car down, Peter, but if you try and slow it down too much, you're going to be locking the brakes, and you're just going to exacerbate the situation even more.
Absolutely. These cars do not have anti-lock braking systems, and when the brakes are cold, you really have to be very progressive and very gentle with them. And again, with that rear engine layout, you have to run quite an odd brake bias compared to other cars. And sometimes I always try and use the example when you're braking downhill that the car kind of wants to overtake you and slap you over the back of the head on the brake. So it's a really much a finesse car here. As well, so a few drivers falling foul to that, as we see the number 24 of Dorian Tabachnik having a look up the inside. This is going to be very tight. Oh goodness me, I think there might have been the ever so slightest rub there, panel to panel, but they've got away with it. But all this is just allowing Shalva to break away at the front, and well, that's music to his ears, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, Reem Gross, I think it was going around the outside into Lake Common, and yeah, he was able to get it done. That's something that we obviously didn't see in the Grand Prix weekend. In fact, I just asked Dan Ticktum in the F2 race about that, or maybe not for that matter. But yeah, Reem Gross up into second place, back where he started. Dorian Tabachnik remains one place higher than where he started. He managed to get by Amma Meshalem in the very snazzy looking Star Trek liveried car. He's really switching up with the liveries here, is Amma Meshalem. He's ditched the Dr. Pepper colours and has gone for the Star Trek. So big fan of that. Here's a little bit of a replay from earlier. This is Alon Zeltzer at the end of lap 1. This is going into La Source. He's the 39 car, so the middle of those 3 cars at the front of your screen. This is the apex there. Oh, and he has to dodge. Very sideways. Yossi goodbye, I think that was. Let's have a look at that one more time, just see what happened to Yossi there. Here he is in the number 17. He's got the number 4 in front. Oh, and he collected the Braun GP liveried card there. Now that was Ron Cohen and many other cars taking evasive action as well. So La Source, one of the slowest corners on the circuit, proving a little bit difficult there. And I think Ron Cohen's out of the race, it looks like. So that little bit of contact was enough to end poor Ron Cohen's race. It might be worth another look at this again. This time we're on board with the number 4 car, Peter.
Yeah, it looks like it's a little bit, not very much, plenty of brawn, but not very much brain here. So let's have a look. Ready for it. Whack! Oh, dearie me. That's not nice at all. Poor old Ron Cohen, like you said, absolutely nothing he could do. He maybe just left the door open slightly, but that's no invitation for a broadside punt. And yeah, it looks like it's broken the suspension because the car's crabbing all over the shop. What a pity. Well, it's been an eventful start to the race, hasn't it, Adam? It's been very exciting indeed, but for Shalva, nearly 3 seconds ahead already as we start the 3rd lap, and really his race to lose right now.
Yeah, 1/4 distance mark already, and yeah, there are quite a few tales to tell. Many of them will be a lot shorter than what many of the drivers would have liked to have set out with at the beginning of this race meeting. So much practice gets put into it, and I'm sure they did not anticipate for some of their races to last, well, just 2 laps around Spa-Francorchamps here. Battle going on between near Cop and Scher, it looks like. There we go. This is at the top of the hill at Les Comps, through the chicane and through Malmedy here, the 90 right-hander, and then we start our descent down the hill. This is towards Rivage, the hairpin. Seen a few moves around the outside and then into No Name Corner in various series over the years, but this is a fight over a spot in the top 10, and Aydin Scher, car 2, up 9 places since the start of the race, and I think there might have been a spin in the background there. Oh, it's Alan Zeltzer again. He's really been in the wars today, and the 39 car is going to have to do the 3-point turn and try and get it going again for a blind hairpin, and hopefully no one hits him, and thankfully they don't, and he's able to get going again just behind Michael Scherling there in 21st place.
Yeah, Alan did a great job there to actually get back on the track safely, despite some not really having an awful lot of room to do so. Well done from him. We see it so often, people just getting so desperate to get back onto the circuit that they pull into the path of the other driver. But this is a great battle between Gross and Tabachnik, and whoa, look at the weave in the carbon fibre there as we head around Blanchimont. That's a big boy place to do some bump drafting in any car, let alone one of these things. So they head down into the bus stop, hard on the brakes, really tricky braking zone, but Rain Gross not bothered at all by Tabachnik's close formation flying there, but all this bickering is allowing Michelin into the battle as well. And look at that time from Shalva, 2 minute 22.6. Whew, nearly a second quicker than the guys behind him.
Yeah, 3.5 seconds is the gap, and I wonder if Dorian could maybe do similar lap times, but for now he is trying to get by Reem Gross here, and it's not as if Reem Gross is lapping massively slower than the rest of the pack. He's doing a very handy job here in second place through Eau Rouge. Now Razillon at the top of the hill, clip that curb there, run a little bit wide as you can see from Dorian Tabachnik in the background, and that was a very good Eau Rouge from Reem Gross there. He was able to pull out an 0.8 of a second gap over Dorian Tabachnik, and who's that trying to make a move there? That's John Chico. There's the cat car as well. It's Ori Lahav, who looks like he's in more difficulty on the Kemmel Straight. John Chico getting quite close there to Amma Meshalem, and the last car in that shot is the pink car there, the Michael Simon car there, car 420. He's gained 3 places and is currently residing in 6th place. Ever increasingly lonely 6th place, it looks like, by the signs of things, because John Chico is 2.1 seconds up the road, and Oren Sade, who is here in 7th, is 3.3 seconds behind. So as we are now at 1/3 distance, these guys' races are looking set to be quite elementary. There's the race ploughs on. But so far so good for many of the guys in the field. Here's Gil Epstein. He's gained 8 places. Joint biggest mover in the field, in fact, alongside Aiden Scher, who's in 12th, and really Tsier, who's in 17th place. All 3 of those drivers have gained 8 places since the lights went out 9 minutes ago. So plenty of gains for those guys after maybe not fully representative qualifying sessions.
Indeed, yes. It's certainly that's the one in these Porsche Cup races. These cars are so hard to handle that you are going to see incidents at every stage, particularly in the early points. And keeping your nose clean in those early stages is really, really important indeed. And yeah, there's lots of places to gain through that. We're riding on board with Amr Mishalam in 4th place aboard the. Now, forgive me, I'm rubbish at these things. Would this be aboard the Starship Enterprise, or am I getting myself mixed up?
Oh no, I've got Andrew Woodhouse in the back of my head. My knowledge of Star Trek isn't too good either.
Oh God!
It's definitely not the Millennium Falcon. That's Star Wars, isn't it?
Well, then it must be the Starship Enterprise. Then, oh my goodness me! There's about half the audience are going, "You Philistine!"
There we go. Yeah, I don't think we'll be making it out of this one. Good.
No.
Star Trek's the one with
Patrick Stewart.
Yeah,
I can do your Patrick Stewart impression by riding on board with Amir Meshulam.
There we go.
There you go.
I don't know if that's fallen on deaf ears. 10 minutes on the clock then. Oh,
he's the captain.
Yes, he is. And I think he's a
the captain.
I think he's a Huddersfield Town fan. Just dropping that in there. Meanwhile, the fight for second place. Or should I say, I think it's just somebody getting lapped, it looks like. That is car 5. That is David Dyer getting put a lap down there. I've got to say, that is another strong paint livery. We have got trading paints turned on for this. And yeah, there are some quite snazzy colours getting paraded about too in the iRacing Israel League. And unfortunately for David Dyer, if it was a competition for best livery, I think he'd be right up in there in the top 5. But unfortunately for him, issues during the race have meant that he's currently a lap down and in 25th place. So that's a shame for him. Fight going on here. This is at the top of the hill. This is going into Lake Com. This is Dawn Malka versus really Tsier. I think that is Malka getting the move done because Sir, who had gained 8 places since the start of the race, has now just lost one of them, and that's Dawn Malka up into P17. So a nice scrap going on in the midfield for a spot in the top 17.
Yeah, I have it on my feed here that Dor is driving for the Dorshire Insurance Agency team. So maybe after that opening lap, he could hand out a few business cards because there's a few bent Porsche 911 GT3 Cup cars after that opening lap calamity. Now look at this one, car number 2. Looking at the front of car number 2 there, Kelly Moss from Aidan Scher. Now, can I be permitted a name drop here? Adam, Kelly Moss, who are one of the top Porsche Cup customer teams in the United States. They also produce those crazy classic 911s that they turn into Dakar safari cars. And I had the great pleasure of interviewing the company owner, Jeff Stone, last week. And what an interesting chap he was. So big shout out to any Kelly Moss fans watching.
There we go. Full of stories here, Peter. I must admit. Coming into the bus stop chicane then, here is Aiden Scher. We're riding on board with him. He's got the Gulf liveried Rancioni. I don't know if we've had any Gulf livery Dakar Porsches in the past, but Yossi Gavai is now trying to get by him as well. So a very tasty scrap going on here. This is over 12th, 13th and 14th. Across the line, I think they were separated by just 0.7 of a second, and that's very late on the brakes. Is he going to make the corner? Is he going to be able to keep it in a straight line, more importantly? Oh, Yossi Gavai goes into the back of him. And that is a tiny bit of damage to the front of that Porsche. Front engine, let's not forget. So if you are going to do any damage to the Porsche, the front is not where you want to do it because there's so many things that could go wrong there. But fortunately for Yossi Gavai, it looks like the front has just about remained intact.
Yeah, the thing with these 911s is if you get a bit of front damage, you've got a real risk of snapping some of your golf clubs in the front boot. Of course, the engine right in the back over the rear wheels as well, which makes these quite unique cars to handle as we head through. The good one for a golf reference here, we just go around what was No Name Corner, now called Jackie X Corner, a driver who won his first race at the Le Mans 24 Hours in a Gulf Ford GT40.
Of course, many people who would have watched the Ford versus Ferrari would have seen that as well. Great film that. Definitely worth rewatching if you've already seen it already.
It is. I love the 12-speed gearboxes though they fitted to the cars. They must have got those from the producers of the Fast and the Furious.
Very good. I did not know that either. I need to read some more books, I think. The fight goes on further back. It looks like Rancioni has been able to get by Aiden Show and Yossi Goodbye, despite the car looking very out of control going into the source. It looks like that Aiden Show has lost a place as a result of that, so that might be worth a replay. In fact, here is the replay of how that took place, and it looks like maybe Aiden Show had a very bad exit out of the exit of Radion, because Rancioni was able to close right up the Kemmel straight and breeze through into 12th place. That might be that is and he cuts the course as well for good measure. Goes across the runoff area at Les Combes, and despite serving what will surely have been a slowdown penalty, he's been able to keep his 12th place as well.
Well, I have to say, I think, can we start up a new award for the race, the Apex Racing League Gulf Marine Oversteer Driver of the Day award has to go to Sione, because that he had two enormous moments coming out the bus stop, held both of them, flies through Eau Rouge, gets by in the Kemmel Straight, and then goes rally crossing over Les Combes. I tell you what, we should maybe have a separate stream. We could have a Sione stream where it's just sideways everywhere. Brilliant, love it.
Great scrap, and a great display of car control. Just about. He very, very nearly lost it completely. Here's Yossi Gavai versus Haggai Farron, side by side for Eau Rouge up at the top of the hill at Radion, and they're still at it. And in the end, Yossi Gavai has to yield, with Haggai Farron going through into 13th place. Haggai lost the car at No Name Corner on lap 1 of the race. He's trying to recover those places back, and he is now just 2 places away from back where he started. And I did mean to go back and have a look at what happened to him at the start, because it was very much out of shot when it happened. Here it is. So this was back on lap 1. You can see how sunny it was around this part of the circuit as well on the first lap of the race. Side by side with the free car. Oh, looked like he clipped the inside curb, and fortunately for him, he hit the tyre barrier, which and very nearly got collected by Cheshashvili there. But fortunately for him, he did hit the tyre barrier, and that means that he picked up very minimal damage out of all of that.
The worst part is that he has to sit there in a drive-in movie theatre watching the entire field going by him there until they've gone by. He can then do a flick turn and get turned round. That must have been painful to watch him literally falling down the order, sitting there having to watch them all go by. That must have been painful indeed. Well, looking at near Cop here in the number 84 machine, very bright yellow and blue colour scheme, holding off the advances of a wonderful Alpha Tauri liveried car. As Marco Barbonera, our esteemed colleague, likes to say, the best Formula 1 team in Italy right now.
I'm all for that. Oh no, and there's been a problem for Amir Meshalem. The Star Trek liveried car has picked up some damage somewhat, and that is not what he would have liked to have seen, and I think somebody might have been involved in that. Let's have a look at a replay. It might have been John Chico. Let's find out. So is Amir Meshalem going to get involved in John Chico's accident here? This is going into the bus stop chicane. We're looking at the number 3 car. Oh, he loses it on entry. Meshalem trying to avoid it, and he very nearly did, but unfortunately for him, he does get collected, and I just hope for his sake that he's able to complete the race, because he is on for a very strong result as things stand. We go back to live pictures, and there he is going up the Kemmel Straight, and it looks like he's able to soldier on, but hopefully he hasn't lost too much straight line speed after that, because as you can see, that very, very good livery is looking rather second hand, and there's been a problem for our race leader, and that is Shalva Kvitelshvili, the championship leader, in big trouble. He's already lost the lead to Reem Gross, and now Dorian Tabachnik is trying to take second place away from our former race leader. What on earth has happened to Shalva, Peter? Let's have a look at the replay. It might be on the exit of Les Combes.
Let's have a look then. Yep, it is Les Combes on the curbs, just gets on the power, heading into the quick right. Oh, he just gets on the curb, and the rear wheels just on the curb there opened up the power. Nearly 500 horsepower in these things, no traction control, and even a man of Shalva's skill, well, he just saw him just lose the rear there, and that is just how knife edge these cars are to drive. When you're in the zone with them, when you're in the groove, they're lovely. When they don't want to be your friend, they are just horrible. And, well, there you go. But Shalva only 1.6 seconds back from Gross. This is not over by any stretch of imagination. And, Adam, if we're being quite selfish, that gives us a really exciting run to the finish.
Oh, yeah, sets up a grandstand finish fantastically here. 2/3 distance. We are 8 laps in. We are 2/3 of the way through the race. The start of the next lap will be 3/4 of the way through the race here. That's some maths for you there. But Shalva, he's not trying to do the percentages just yet. He wants to get back to the front, and that 1.6 second gap is now shrunk to 1.4. Over the line then goes Reem Gross. He leads a lap in the iRacing Israel League at Spa. On to lap 9 of 12 then. 4 to go, including this one. And I wonder if Shalva has got enough tyre life left to try and get him back. He will have heated the tyres somewhat by locking. It was very good from him as well. He jammed on the brakes as soon as that slide started, so he didn't end up going off into the gravel, or even worse, hitting the wall there. And now he'll be eager to try and get back to the front. We've seen he's got the pace to do it. At times during the race, he was lapping 1 second quicker than the cars behind him. And there's also a battle going on here. It's Nir Kopp versus Reuven Chachashvili and also Saad Dekel. There's that AlphaTauri car. And imagine how 15 years ago when Ferrari were winning titles with Michael Schumacher and AlphaTauri were then known as Minardi and were rocking up the numbers at the back. And yeah, as Marco Balvanera, one of our colleagues here on Apex Racing TV, has helpfully pointed out, the best team in Italy at the moment. That's a remarkable stat as Chachashvili tries to keep Nir Kopp at bay.
There's additional irony as well that, of course, what is now AlphaTauri that was previously Toro Rosso after it was Minardi, of course, launched the career of a young Sebastian Vettel Esquire. And yeah, that relationship's going well right now as well, isn't it? But anyway, number 42, Reuven Chachashvili. Look at that. That is a very nice throwback paint scheme to the original GT3 RS road car. Although he does need the red wheels to finish it off completely. But the first ever GT3 RS sold to the public, sold as a homologation special for American GT racing. And we would have oversteered there on the outside, on the exit of the slightly unfortunately named Puon corner. Talking of unfortunate, Shalva runs very, very wide, heading on to the straight, heading on down towards Blanchimont, a big guts corner here, and he's pushing hard. And look how much he's dropped Dorian Tabachnik, quite a few car lengths just on this lap alone, and he's on a charge.
Don't write off Dorian Tabachnik. If these two come together in the fight for the lead, he'd be straight in there to try and take the lead. We'll see now as we go through the bus stop chicane, out onto the front straights, across the timing line and start lap 10 of the race. Just 3 laps to go now in round 6 of the iRacing Israel League at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. And what a finish we've got in store here. Shalva in second place, championship leader, was leading by a very comfortable margin before hitting the curb at Malmedy at the top of the hill, having a half spin, losing the lead, very nearly losing second as well. And now he's trying to fight back up through the field to make sure he can extend his championship lead as we go into our mid-season break. We won't be back again in this series until after the iRacing new build has been deployed. And here comes Shalva. Is he ready to deploy the afterburners and try and get the race lead here? He's not close enough this time. John Chico being shown us off the circuit. I think he might have just run wide on the exit of Radion. But look at the speed and look at the time that Shalva's been able to gain just through the Les Combes chicane. He is really on it here and really pushing with still 2.5 laps to go as we go into Rivage.
Yeah, for Shalva, he's clearly got a pace advantage. He's proven that over the event so far. However, this is where it's really important. When you've got this sort of pace advantage, for someone like Shalva, he's just got to try and not force a move when it's not there and just bide the time. Got plenty of time, 3 laps to go, 3 long laps here at Spa, of course, 7 kilometers long, this circuit. And you just got to try and pick your moment for where there is an opportunity. I would suggest perhaps into La Source turn 1 maybe, or all the way up into Les Combes. Those are 2 kind of hot spots for overtaking opportunities. Bus stop is a little bit trickier. You can sometimes get into contact there, but it is possible. So let's see where Shalva is going to line up a manoeuvre as we head into the last couple of laps.
And you can see just they're taking they're using the track limits to their advantage here. They've probably got a few incident points left to use. It's probably not in the best interests of sporting integrity there, but if those incident points are there to be used, they may as well use them, as they are again. Look at that, as Shalva, well, he almost, oh my goodness me, Shalva clips the curb, spins the car, goes across the inside of the bus stop chicane. Is he going to collect him? Yes, he does. This is a disaster. Ream Gross has been flipped onto his roof, and Dorian Tabachnik, I did call it, didn't I, Peter?
You did.
Has taken the lead with the white flag in the air, and well, that is remarkable. In fact, it's the start of the penultimate lap, I believe. Wow, what an insane couple of corners that was.
That is a gross misunderstatement, that is for sure. But Dorian Tabachnik, you did call it, that you said if they come together, well, to say they come together, well, that was, oh, what a shame for Ream Gross. He really did not deserve that. He was leading the race very strongly, minding his own business. And it's a shame Dane Baird's not here, our resident rallycross fanatic, because that was some real rallycrossing from Shalva there. And it was one of those inevitable incidents, wasn't it? You're on the grass, and when you're on the grass, it's like ice. And I thought, oh, here comes a big one. And well, let's see. So this is on board with Michael Scher. Oh, no, sorry, my apologies. Let's see if we can get a look.
Oh, hang on. That's the first incident. Sorry.
Oh, no problem at all. No problem at all. So we'll see if we can get a little bit of a look for you here on the replay. Okay, great. So this is Shalva on board, coming around Blanchimont, a hugely big commitment corner. And I think he just runs wide, keeps the power open, and then gets a bit caught out here onto the curb, and whoosh. Look at the steering input there. He's, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh, massive. Oh, what a shame for Ream Gross. Barrel rolls round. Oh, Dorian just takes a bit of damage there. Oh, my word. What a dramatic conclusion. Well, we're not finished yet. There's still plenty of this motor race to go. This is a good view. Dorian Tabachnik got a grandstand view of this incident, and he's probably thinking, I might just roll out the throttle here. I can see something going to happen. There goes Shalva. Round he goes. Oh, and onto the grass. Taking it canny there, and bang.
Oh, he takes hits off both of them, doesn't he?
Oh, wow. Mario Kart, eat your heart out.
Remarkable. And we've still got one and a half laps to go here. I thought we were about to start the final lap, but yeah, when we get to line, we'll be starting lap 12 of 12 here. And well, it's not totally out of the equation that Shalva could still win this. You know, the gap is 1.5 seconds. I'm pretty certain that Dorian has, even though he did tap both cars, has probably got less damage than Shalva, who's pretty much slid across the whole circuit and taken out Ream Gross. White flag is in the air then, and I think the gap is going up. It's up to 1.8 seconds. We've also lost Scher on this lap. I think he's down to 13th place. Or maybe not. I think he's just blinking in and out. It might be an intermittent issue with his connection. And here's a fight that's carried on. Oh, and there's been a bit of contact there, just about holding on to it there, wasn't he, a cop?
That might not have looked much on screen, but that was a really good save there from Near Cop, because these cars, when they do not need even the slightest persuasion from the car behind to the rear, and they will spin. And that actually didn't look much on camera, but that was a very good save there from Near Cop. Well, like you say, Tabachnik now, he's moving up to 3 seconds now, so he's got a pretty strong gap over Shalva, but it's not over yet. And we're looking at Michael Simon in the pink pig, and here comes the 777 of Monsieur Lamb, in the Star Trek, oh God, I don't even know, the Starship Enterprise, that's it. Heading into Lake Combe they go then. He makes the move stick and pinches the last spot on the podium for now, but far from over yet.
Wow, great scrap this, and here comes John Chico onto the scene as well, with just a couple of corners to go in this one. And what a fantastic scrap we've got on our hands here for the final spots on the podium. Amir Meshalem coming from behind to get that position despite the severe amount of damage on his car. I don't think he's going to be able to catch Shalva in second. There's an 11-second buffer now between second and third. Ream Gross, we did see he couldn't right his upside down Porsche, and he's had to retire back to the pits. A massive shame for him after taking the leads due to the misfortune for Shalva. And it's not over yet in the fight for third position. Haggai Farron, he's also in a fierce scrap. That's Gil Epstein just in front of him, the 44. Very close indeed between those two going into Pool 1. But meanwhile, here's Dorian Tabachnik. It's been a very incredible race from him, battling away with Ringgross in the early stages. He remained in third after Shalva's first incident, and then when the two collided, Shalva and Ringgross at this very corner, at the bus stop chicane, he was able to take full advantage, and he's going to come through the final few corners and take the checkered flag as well. He's going to win. Dorian Tabachnik wins round 6 of the iRacing Israel League at Spa-Francorchamps. Dramatic finish once again. Shalva, well, it could have been so much more for him. He could have won on 2 occasions, but in the end, second place is as good as it's going to be. Look at this. It's chaos through the final corner, but it's going to be Mechalem who finishes third. Drag race to the line. I think John Chico just about got Michael Simon there. 900ths of a second between the two, and it was the 3 that managed to get P4 in the end. Oren Sade in 6th place. There's Ruben Chachashvili near Cop, just holding off Sardekel, and then the top 10 completed by Gil Epstein, who just finishes ahead of Haggai Farron. We saw those two embroiled in another epic scrap, and the rest of the field coming across the line now. There's Yossi Gabai. He picked up a little bit of damage earlier. He finished in 12th. Here is Aiden Scher over the line. That's P13 for him. 7 places gained as well. Tema Ventura, 14th place. Rancioni over the line in 15th. 16th place for Alan Zeltzer. Michael Sherling, with a bit of damage to the front end, to say the least, comes over in 17th place. Gained 6 places though. And now here is really coming through the final corner. It's going to be P18 for him. And an interesting scrap going on here between Moshi Pinchevsky. Good grief, they do liveries for that. And Leon Portman in 20th place. A very decent scrap between these guys. P19. I bet you Moshi Pinchevsky's team will be hoping they don't finish there in the football this season. But Leon Portman comes over the line in 20th, and the last car's running, Dor Malka, over the line in P21, and the damaged Braun GP car Ron Cohen has been able to get back onto the circuit, but he's going to finish in 22nd place, the last of the cars running, I believe. And well, Peter, that brings to a conclusion what was an incredible race, really. We didn't expect it to get that exciting at the front, but then it came to the boil and kind of overflowed, really, in terms of the battle for the lead and the contact as well for Reem Gross and Shalva there.
Yeah, it was an absolutely extraordinary end to that motor race, and I tell you what, Dane Baird is going to have to try very hard to get his commentator seat back, because I enjoyed that immensely. That was great fun. Brilliant driving from all the drivers. You kind of, in a way, I mean, obviously you have to feel very, very sorry for Reem Gross. Did nothing wrong and had the win probably in the bag, actually, because he really was making Shalva try, and Shalva made that mistake, and I'm sure he will feel really, really guilty indeed, because of course it wasn't a malicious move, just one of those unfortunate things. And what a pity, but what a dramatic end to that race. Very, very exciting, and a pleasure to call for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This series is continuing to deliver. We did show you the practice results then for a brief moment, but here are the race results, which I don't think are right. Let's try that again, shall we? Here are the race results then from round 6 of the season. No, that's not at all playing ball. I'm trying to work out why. Oh goodness me, let's try one more time. Bear with me for 2 seconds.
A Porsche won.
Yeah, Porsche won, definitely. Poor Dorian Tabachnik, they don't want to show him at the top of the standings. Let's try that one more time, please. If not, we can just get the timing tower up for you. So those are the practice standings. Let's get the qualifying standings up. Maybe just go through all of them and see if that helps. And here are the race results. No, So Dorian Tabachnik wins. Second place for Shalva in the end. Amir Mechalem completes the podium. Then it's John Chico in 4th, Michael Simon in 5th, and then 6th place for Oren Sade, with Reuven Chachashvili in 7th, 8th for Nir Mizrahi, and then Saad Dekel and Gil Epstein completing the top 10. 11th for Haggai Farron, 12th for Yossi Gabai, finishing where he started. The only driver, aside from Amir Mechalem, to do that. in the field today. Aiden Scher in 13th, then Toma Ventura, Rancioni in 15th, then Alan Zeltzer, Michael Scherling, Reedy Sir, Moshi Pinchevsky, then Leon Portman, Dawn Malka, Ron Cohen, Reem Gross, Arik Alster, David Dyer, Gori Lahav, and Madi Bakar completing the top 27. There's the rest of them, or at least it should try and show them. No, being a pain. Let's just get the timing tower up, shall we, for you? Then you can see where they are. There you go. That's how the rest of them finished in round 6 of the season. So yeah, reminder that we are off for a sort of mid-season break. The iRacing Israel League will return in 4 weeks' time. The second week of the official iRacing season, where we'll be back up in action. So watch out for that in a couple of weeks' time. But before we go off the air tonight, we do have a few interviews, and there are plenty of stories to tell from this race, so we may as well get into it. Let's start off with we did have Shalva, but he has gone. I was just about to drag him up as well.
We do still have him. We do still have him.
Oh, sorry, I've completely missed him. Let's grab him in for a quick word. And he is in the commentary box now with us. Shalva, welcome.
Hello, guys.
Well, at first it looked like it was going to be a relatively easy ride to victory for you, but then things took a bit of a sour turn in the second half of the race. Talk us through, first of all, the spin at Les Combes, and then the contact with Reem Gross in the closing stages.
Oh, well, first of all, the spin, I wasn't expecting it at all. Like, I guess I ran a bit wide to try and open up that corner, like at the end of Les Combes, and there's this little dip in the curb, and I just suddenly lost the car without any ability to catch it. Like, it's the first time that it's happened to me, and during practice and the official races as well. So that really caught me off guard. But and then I guess I started kind of panicking. I started closing back on Ram, and at Blanchimont, I ran wide. And when I tried to come back behind Ram, because of course, I kind of lost it. Like when I bounced from the curb to the asphalt again, and my car bounced, and I tried to catch it, but I completely lost it. I slide all across the grass, trying to judge where Ram is gonna end up, so I won't hit him. But unfortunately, I smashed him, and from what I saw, he turned upside down, which really sucked. And so sorry, Ram, like completely my fault. And from that point on, the car was like too damaged to do anything. So I was just nursing it back across the finish line, trying to not lose any more positions.
Oh, yeah, I guess up until that point, though, everything was under control. And how was the Porsche handling up until that point? Because you seemed to be lapping a good couple of attempts quicker than the rest of the field.
Yeah, I was really chilling. I was lapping like a half a second below my normal pace, just trying to preserve tires, and just like in Spa and iRacing, the off tracks are kind of like a currency, if you will. Like you can easily gain a second a lap if you take a couple of off tracks. So I was just saving those from when the moment is right, if I ever need those, if I ever need this burst of speed. And I guess I lost focus a bit, and then everything turned upside down.
Oh, quite literally. Yeah, well, we've got a 4-week break or so coming up soon. How would you sum up your start to the season? Because even despite the incidents going out on track today, you still have a relatively comfortable championship lead.
Yeah, I do. Like pretty much all second places. So the off season, I'm gonna try and practice a little bit, try to be more consistent. Maybe practicing on longer stints, so I won't lose focus like this. Like this isn't the first time I just spun by myself without anyone near me. So I really gonna have to work on this, and hopefully I'm gonna grab a few wins on the second half of the season.
Great. Well, before we let you go, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Thank you, Amir. No surprises this time. I appreciate it.
Well done on the second place today. It could have been so much more, but still some decent championship points for you. And yeah, all the best, and we'll speak to you again in a couple of weeks.
Thank you, guys. See ya.
Right, and yeah, great to hear from Shalva there in second place. Let's see if we can get a quick word though with Reem Gross, who will be gutted after that. And well, Pete, I'll let you see if we can have a word with Reem Gross, who unfortunately finished in 23rd place, sir.
Reem, welcome to the Apex Racing TV commentary box. First of all, I feel so bad for you. Just tell us about that incident towards the end of the race.
Yeah, me too. I'm happy to be here, of course, but I thought I'm going to be on the podium. But this accident came out of nowhere. Shalva pushed, for my opinion, too much, and he jumped on the curb and spun, and I didn't know where it's gonna end, and he crashed into me, and my race is finished from there.
Yeah, it was incredibly unfortunate, but you're driving such a good race, both defending from Dorian and Shalva later on. But I guess taking the positives away, you must be pleased with the pace of your driving throughout the race. I guess.
Yeah, I succeed to be really consistent, and I fought with Dorian. It was really hard to push him back, and when I saw Shalva spun, I tried to get faster and to take advantage, and in the end I didn't succeed.
Well, still a very good drive nonetheless. Our viewers on Apex Racing TV surely enjoyed that one as well, and hard luck for that incident at the end. Before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to live on the broadcast?
Yes, of course. I want to say a big shout out for Ariel Dabush. He has a new company called 3D Boot X. Good luck for him. He gave me the opportunity to race all the season. So thank you, Ariel. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Well, we look forward to speaking to you again very soon after the mid-season break. Thanks very much, Reem.
Thank you.
Good to hear from Reem Gross there. We've got a bit more time for interviews, and they are starting to pile up a little bit. Let's move on to Amir Meshalem, who finished in 3rd place. Had a very good livery as well. We should make sure we mention that. And he joins us in the commentary box now. Amir Meshalem, first of all, well done on the 3rd place today.
Thank you. Actually, I think I'm 2nd place after Dorian got disqualified. No?
Oh, did he? Oh, I wondered why the official results were showing that. Well.
He didn't do the last drive-through. He got a 17 incident, which means like a drive-through on the last lap. He didn't do it, so he got like 26-second penalty. So Shalva is actually 1st, and I'm 2nd.
Oh wow, goodness me. Well, we did wonder why the official results weren't updating, but there you go. So yeah, well, we should start that again. Well done on the 2nd place.
Yeah, thank you. 1st podium, 2nd place. That's great.
And also we've been remarking about your fantastic livery that you've got on today. Just what was the inspiration behind that?
Actually, there is a guy that Amit Leon, who is in the league with us, that is making this livery. He's very talented. So I just asked him to do me some Star Trek theme livery, and it's great. Looks great.
And it was a pretty entertaining race for you as well, because you had the likes of John and Michael Simon as well battling away with you, and in the end you were able to get into that 2nd place just in the right nick of time, really, because there wasn't too many laps left when you got up there.
Yeah, actually, the race, the race started exactly as I wanted. Dorian passed me. I knew I couldn't fight him. He's very aggressive right at the beginning, and I put myself on the 4th position with some gap from John. So I thought that was great. But then I lost my braking point, missed my braking point, and John passed me. Then he spinned, then I hit him, and I drove all the way with damage. I was sure that both of them gonna pass me, if not Oren Sadeh after me. But somehow on the last 3 laps, I found the pace. I was actually doing even better laps that I was doing at the beginning of the race, and it worked great.
Brilliant. Well, I know we've got a few more drivers to get through, so before we let you go, Amir, is there anyone you want to give a quick shout out to before we head on our mid-season break?
Yeah, well, first actually to my wife that helped me so much with the league. It was very hard and very time-consuming, and she helped me a lot. And besides that, to all the league members for making this league as it is, and for you guys, thank you very much.
Great to hear from you again, Amir. Yeah, and well done on the second place. And yeah, we're all big fans of the livery, so yeah, thanks for that as well.
Have fun.
Good to hear from Mashalem. Next, who shall we get on to? We've got Michael Simon, I believe, ready to talk to us. So let's grab him in for a quick word, and he should be with the one and only Peter Mackay right now.
Michael, welcome to the Apex Racing TV commentary box. That was certainly an eventful race going on in front of you. Tell us about it from your driver's eye view.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
Do you have this issue sometimes with Michael Simon?
Hello.
Oh, hello, we can hear him now. There you go.
Hey.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, messed up.
No problem.
That's my
at
theme.
all. Yeah, but it's like your trademark now. It goes along with the pink pig livery. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Excellent. Tell us about your race, Michael.
Oh, it was a roller coaster. Yeah. It started out pretty intense, and then it got a little boring in the middle, and then it got intense again, and I threw it away at the end. I just had podium there, and I just realized now that I'm fourth and not fifth because Dorian got chucked. So I would have been second, I guess. And then I let Amir pass on the last lap, thinking I would just keep it there, and then coming down to the final chicane, I just I actually I think I bumped him a little bit in the exit, and then Chico just raced me to the finish and took the spot. Yeah, but it was a fun race, especially at the end. Trying to keep the pace. I'm slow, I'm not very fast, and it's hard to keep the focus. So I'm happy with what I got.
I think you did a fantastic job. It's this Spa circuit is a real challenge, and particularly in this car as well. But I tell you what, that pink pig livery must bring some speed for sure. It's a very
definitely
successful livery. It must help. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love that livery. Yeah, I can't help it. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the off tracks here are dreadful. It's just every time you drive this track and you want to use the whole track, and it's so sensitive to off tracks. And the first lap I was 5 off tracks, and I just got real stressed. I was like, shit, I got to keep it together. And then that's when I actually had the hold of the train for the first lap or so. I was just hanging on by my teeth there, but the pace was just too good for me, and I couldn't keep up. And as soon as I lost the slipstream, I just started falling back little by little. But I'm happy. I kept it together, kept it out of the wall, even though I had a couple of slip-ups. Managed to save it, and did a clean race.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. These iRacing stewards here at Spa, they're like those annoying kids at school that always told on the teacher to you. They're horrible.
Yeah, I got picked on when they were at school. Now they're getting us back, I guess. Yeah,
definitely. We should give the Spa iRacing stewards a big wedgie, get them to stop being so harsh.
Yeah, definitely.
While you're live here on Apex Racing TV, Michael, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to on the broadcast?
As usual, Amir, the organizer, and his wife, of course, Hagit, for helping out too, and everyone racing, and of course my friends and everyone watching us. You guys always do a great job. Say hi to Dane. He's missing, I see. And yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you very much for coming to join us, and we'll see you after the season break.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Good to hear from Michael Simon. Next up, let's see if we can get a quick word with... just looking through the timer screen to see who was next up behind him. I think it was Chachasvili. So let's get him in. We are running out of time. I think we should be able to squeeze in a couple more interviews before we go off air. And Reuven Chachasvili joins us now in the commentary box. Welcome, mate.
Hey, good evening. How are you?
Yeah, very good. And a solid drive through the field for drive from you today. Started 6th, finished 7th, and just looking back on the replay as well from your perspective, it looked like it was a pretty interesting start to the race as well.
Yeah, definitely. I made it interesting, you know. I took the first lap and I just crashed by myself. Stupid spin, just returned too fast to the gas. So immediately after, I just have a little crash because I think Alon Alter just closed the door that he opened for me. So yes, I had an interesting race from the 22nd place to somehow the 6th. I think that Dorian Tabachny got some black flag or something.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
6th instead of 7th.
Yeah, how was the Porsche handling out there? Because it looked like, at least with some of your fellow competitors out there, that it did look very difficult to put the power down, especially in some of the slower speed corners.
Yes, this is the thing. The car just spins around and the rear end feels so happy. So it was extremely challenging, especially in this track. The track is super slippery. I'm not sure if it's the setup itself or it's just me that had so many spins. Actually, it wasn't spins, but it was just happy tail. So yeah, it was pretty difficult. I think that's the amount of the crashes that we saw through the race just just strengthening this fact. So it's pretty challenging. Really challenging.
Does the fixed setup, does that suit your driving style, or if you could make any changes to it, would you?
I think that it was a great setup with Shalva. Thanks to Shalva, by the way, for the setups. We made a first version which was too happy with the tail, and in the final version we had the second version which was too understeery. So the final version was pretty good. I think it was exactly balanced in in the area of under and oversteer. And it felt pretty fine. When you go to the advanced laps of the race, just the tires that gets a bit tired, and you just feel it in the back end.
Very well.
But the fixed setup, yes, it just makes the race more interesting because it's totally the driver abilities and not the setup itself.
But a great drive through the field from yourself today, and just looking back at some of the moments on the replay now. Before we let you go, on our mid-season break, is there anyone you want to thank?
Can you repeat? I didn't hear you well.
Just before we go on the mid-season break, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Definitely, I want to give a big shout out at first to Amir, that just arranged all of this amazing league. Very professional organization. From the basics, which is the organization of the simulator and the website and all the systems around, the setups for Shalva. Big shout out to Shalva, to Hagai and Shalva both. It's having guide sessions to all of the drivers and to everybody. I'm really enjoying this league. I think it's my third or fourth race. I'm really enjoying it. It's very fun because it's very professional, and most of the drivers here are having so much time in practicing and taking it very seriously. It just makes the league to look as it is.
Great, well, yeah, a great drive through the field from yourself today, and yeah, thanks for taking the time to come and speak to us today, Reuven, and yeah, all the best for when we get going again in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, see you.
Good to hear from him there. Time is running out, so I will let you choose who we will have as our final interviewee of the broadcast here. Peter, who are you going to pick? I know we've got Nir Kopp waiting for us. He finished in 8th, and I see we've also got Yossi Gabayan and Rancioni. So who are you going to pick out of those three?
Maybe Yossi Gabai. He was certainly getting involved in a few little battles. So yeah, let's hear what he's got to say.
Let's get him up.
Yossi, welcome to the Apex Racing TV commentary box. Certainly looked like an eventful race out there at Spa for you today. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, well, I started with the race started very good for me actually, but at that corner I don't. Ron Cohen was it? He was took a little bit outside, so I tried to brake a little more to avoid an accident, and actually this caused me to slip, and I hit him, unfortunately, and then I had damage all the way.
Ah, I see. Well, it was certainly tricky out there, indeed as well. We've had plenty of drivers talking about the off-track limits. Was that something that you found tricky throughout the race as well?
Yeah, well, I did some online races, and actually in those races I had a very good off-track number, about 5 for the race. But this time I had about 12 or 13, so I really had very bad luck in this race.
That means you're trying. If you're getting caught for track limits, it means that you're pushing.
Yeah, too much, I guess.
Well, while you're here live on Apex Racing TV, you've got the last but not least honor. Who would you like to give a shout out to before we finish up for the night?
Actually, I will try to give a shout out to Abu Dhabi. Now we have some peace process going on with them, so maybe they will be our friends sometime soon. We have the peace with the Emirates, yes.
There you go.
Well, then I wish you all the best with that, Yossi.
Yeah, thank you.
Great to hear from you, Yossi, and all the best in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, it's not in a couple of weeks. It's going to be longer because there is a break now.
Yeah.
So I think it's 4 weeks. But anyway, thank you.
No worries. All the best.
Yes, thank you very much.
Good to hear from Yossi Gavai. And, well, that brings to an end then a great couple of weeks in the iRacing Israel League. And we'll be back in a couple of weeks when the season resumes. And Peter, I know you're filling in for Dane today, but I know you said it earlier. I don't think you're going to be wanting to give that seat up when Dane gets back in a couple of weeks' time.
Definitely not. No. Dane's going to have to try very hard to get me out of the seat. I'm going to get some super glue and glue myself to the co-commentator seat because that was a whole lot of fun. You can tell a lot of real great personalities there in the field. Some great racing, some quick racing, and that was a joy to step in for Dane, and appreciate him. Let me have a go. Let me come back, and of course, my first ever experience on Apex Racing TV was with you guys all the way back at Road Atlanta. So yeah, it's come full circle. It's been a pleasure.
Well, this guy crossed the lead on the track, crossed the line in the lead on the track, but in the end it was not his day because after a post-race penalty for picking up too many incident points, even with the amount of damage to the front of his car and several of the incidents, it is Shalva Kvitelashvili that wins the final race of the first part of the season, and he'll go into the 4-week break with a very healthy cushion indeed. But my thanks to Dane, my thanks to Peter for being in the commentary box with me this week, filling in for Dane Baird, who is not with us this week, but he will be back in 4 weeks, and so will we when the iRacing Israel League returns. So from me and from Peter here at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps here on Apex Racing TV and the iRacing Israel League YouTube channel. Bye for now.